in the late 90s, you played in the Bridge Hotel to an empty room.
I played in a lot of empty rooms. Yeah, but that one was really empty.
Yeah? What's the difference?
Yeah, well,
what's it like to play in empty rooms?
Oh, it's shocking, you know. I mean, Men at Work held the record for the most number of people in the Bridge Hotel in Mildura in 1981 or something. And then a few short years later, I went back there with my own band, and I also, hold the record for the least number of people at the Bridge Hotel. There's nobody there at all. Nobody in the room at all, just myself and the road crew and the girls behind the bar. And it wasn't the height of my career. But eventually, 50 or 60 drunken insurance salesmen came across from the disco. They called them discos back in the olden days, in the 80s, you remember? And they came across, and they're a fun bunch in a group, insurance salesmen that hadn't been home since 4 o'clock and one drink away from becoming 17th century pirates, But they just stand in front of the stage going, ah! And they always want to impart a little bit of wisdom. Drunk men around the world, especially here in this fine land, always want to maybe just give you something to take away with you, and it's just from the suburbs of my mind to yours. And I played all those songs I thought was famous for, Down Under and everything, all those tunes, and they were going dancing away and dance floor, ties askew, and I finished the gig and I'm backstage, and then this door gets kicked open and this guy goes, Mike, you know how a lot of guys say stuff to you, you've said nothing, but they still disagree with you. They go, Mike, that Down Under song, mate. That Down Under song, I reckon you play that better than the original.
You played to no people at the Bridge, and then you go to South America and play to 150,000 people. Did it puzzle you? Did it anger you that Australians didn't get Colin Hay?
Now, here's the thing that happened, specifically, was I put out an album called Wayfaring Sons. And so I put a band together in the hope of touring different parts of the world. But the only place there was a hit was in Brazil. So I said yes to Rock in Rio, but I also said yes to the Esplanade Hotel in St Kilda. So there were only 2 gigs I did. I did one to 100 people and one to 150,000 people. And I had T-shirts done, Colin Hay Band World Tour. There's only 2 gigs on it. The Esplanade Hotel. And I remember a guy, just after I finished playing the Esplanade, and he goes, "Oh, you're going to Brazil now, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of the same as here, wouldn't it?" So anyway, I went there and I played, and that was when I decided that maybe I should stay in that part of the world, because I thought, well, I can come back to Melbourne and I dearly love it, or I could, seek my fortunes in that part of the world, not in Brazil particularly, but I just went back to Los Angeles because I felt comfortable there, and I stayed there, and I've been there ever since.
We saw in the introduction there you playing Down Under with your wife Cecilia, who's here. Welcome, Cecilia. Now, you're from Peru. Where did you meet?
Well, originally we met for a minute in New York in a studio, but that was only for a cup of coffee. She was there herself in the studio, and that was a very brief meeting. But she did write in her diary, "Today I met Colin."
Colin.
Colin?
Colin with an A. Yes.
Colin with an A.
Yes.
And what did you think of Colin when you met him?
I said to myself, that's exactly the kind of performer that I want to be one day.
And what was it about Colin's performance that you wanted to be?
I love the videos because I was in New York when MTV started, and that Down Under video was amazing, and it had a script, which was so unusual for rock bands, and they had a saxophone. I was so into jazz in those days, and every time I would hear that voice, I would run from any room in the apartment and come and watch.
Stalk me. She's been stalking me.
What song do you play to Cecilia with your voice that she loves when you really want to express love to her? When you want to win her over?
Well, I'll play something that we wrote together. What about that? Or a verse of it, you know. Every day I look into your eyes. There are no words I can say. We walk down and wait for the sunrise, watching over Misty Bay. In this distant land, full of secret plans, follow signs along the way. We can dance under the moonlight, cheek to cheek, one right, one left. Nothing matters when you're inside. Love.